right, we're going to dive in. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar. We're going to be talking about using e-commerce to drive in-store traffic and generating new customers. And so it's going to be me joining today. I'm Tally Mack. I'm the CEO of Bravo. And I also have Christy Bauer on with me today. She's our Director of Sales. And so one of the things that we decided to do earlier on this year is to start doing these Take Action series. And so the idea of this whole series is that we do the heavy research for you. We're digging into the articles, we're looking and analyzing the data, we're looking at what competitors in the market are doing, and then we're gonna give you actionable insight in just 30 minutes. So today's call is gonna end in just 30 minutes. We're gonna give you lots of takeaways that are helpful. And then also, just to tee this up, one of the things that Christy and I are very aware of and talking about all the time is we know that in the last 5 months, most of you have been able to turn inventory faster than ever before. And so, you know, we want to focus today on using e-commerce to actually drive in-store traffic and generating new customers, because we know that maybe as a short-term tactic to turn inventory faster, that might not be on the top of your list of things to do. But what probably is on your top list of things to do is how do you drive more traffic into your store? How do you create more demand for loans and buys? So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Christy.
Awesome. So we're just going to start off with the why, the what, and the how. So really, why? You know, why get into it? You know, COVID's brought about a lot of things, and really overnight, I think personally, a lot of us recognized it, and several professionally, that without an e-commerce or internet presence, we're in trouble. I've got a sales team that is dedicated to calling out to you all every day. And since COVID and to this day, we still have about 33% of pawn shops that are not picking up the phone. And the one thing that they all have in common is very little to no web presence at all. So the what of it is countless e-commerce programs. How do you choose which one? There's tons of different platforms out there that can all help you sell your stuff. But like Tally mentioned, we talk to pawnbrokers every single day, and selling stuff isn't necessarily a problem. What pawnbrokers are looking for is a bigger, deeper relationship. They want a new customer. So we're going to actually talk today about how you can mine that gold right out of your database and make these prospects customers. And last, we're going to share and go into some action items that we know are going to bring you success, and we know it because we've been doing it for years. So just a little bit of housekeeping. So we are recording this, so at the end, we will send out the recording. So if you miss any pieces of it or you come in late, need to leave early, we'll make sure that you have that. We love participation. Please feel free to, you know, type into the chat box. More interactive is, I think the better it all is for everybody. And last, we're here to help, whether you're a Bravo customer or you're somebody who's looking at Bravo or somebody who's just interested in e-commerce. We're here to help. So feel free to reach out to myself, to Tally after the meeting. We love to talk with pawnbrokers and work with you guys, so feel free.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about why e-commerce. So it's no secret that pawn shop inventory is depleted, and specifically sellable inventory is depleted. A lot of the consumer electronics are gone, and even categories that have been traditionally slower to turnover, like jewelry, for example, the turnover of those items have also dramatically increased. What's important to recognize about this is it was an anomaly. And in a year where literally nothing seemed lucky, selling inventory was actually a lucky anomaly. And what it did is it gave you as an operator cash flow, and it helped many pawn shops clear out years of aged inventory. And you might be asking, well, why were we lucky? And it was because you were able to stay open and other retail stores had to close. And not every pawn shop stayed open for the duration of the last 5 months, but there was really no other place to shop and get instant gratification, because although there's online channels, it usually, you know, it takes 2 days on a good shipping to get that item in your house. And so consumers are missing the instant gratification, but they had, you know, money from stipends and unemployment burning holes in their pockets. And so pawn shops became a place where they could come in and spend their money. What's super interesting in all of this is that the stores on Bravo that were selling online actually outperformed the Bravo stores who weren't selling online. And that wasn't even wrap, pack, and ship. So I'm not even talking about putting stuff online to wrap, pack, and ship it. I'm talking about putting stuff online to drive customers into your store who have never even been into a pawn shop before. And the only way to do that is to have strong online presence and have your products and your inventory up for sale so that people can see what's actually in the store. And so, like Christy mentioned, today we're going to dive in. We're going to talk a little bit more about actionable steps. And also, at this point, holiday is now right around the corner. So it's sort of time. It's the time in the year where it's time to start shifting and thinking towards November and December and how you can start to get prepared for that. So the first and most important thing is, diversification and not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So one of the things when I talk to pawn shops and customers about e-commerce, I think there's this expectation that I expect our customers to become full-blown e-tailers, like everything in your whole business revolves around e-tail. And that's not the case. And we're going to go into some metrics and show you that that's not the case. It's not that you have to switch in from being a brick and mortar primarily to being online primarily. But what is true is that multiple marketing and selling channels protects your business from unforeseeable and uncontrollable shifts in the market, like hello COVID, and then also competition. So if you're diversified, you don't have any one point of failure, any one point when a competitor comes into the market that your business is going to be decimated. So all of your eggs in the traditional brick and mortar, that leaves you behind. And leaving you behind just actually accelerated 10 times. And so what I mean by that is that technology has been slowly accelerating, and it's been a catalyst for change within companies and within pawn shops, specifically over the last 3 years. Companies have adapted new technology and process. What would have taken them 2 years, in the last 5 months, it's taken 2 weeks. And so it's really important to engage in all of the content that this industry is trying to provide to make sure that you're diversified. So there's some really awesome content out there. Jerry Whitehead's on this call actually, and he's got a webinar later today. And so the idea of all of us coming together and really trying to present the research and share the experience of talking to hundreds, if not thousands of pawn shops, is that diversification is key, and we're here to help you diversify. And ultimately what that means is that you're able to adapt, and you're able to quickly survive crisis and take advantage of market opportunities and not be behind, not be stuck when your store is closed and you don't have the technology to enable that quick pivot. So that is the first thing on diversification. Christy, talk us through tools to drive in-store sales.
So often when we start talking about e-commerce with pawnbrokers, immediately they throw up or start expressing fear. And the fear is usually surrounding, like, how much is this going to cost me? How many more resources am I going to have to bring in? Am I going to lose local customers because suddenly all of this inventory, this wonderful inventory that I display in my store, is going to be gone and I'm selling it to an online seller? Or, our favorite is, what if we run out of inventory? The reality is, e-commerce is a proven method to drive that in-store sales. Like Tally was saying, last year, pawnbrokers using Bravo on our platform saw 85% more in-store sales using our platform. So that's a huge number. Offline sales they're still going to be the share winner when it comes to retail sales. In fact, it's expected that 74% of retail sales this year is going to happen in store. A new shift that's happening is called online. You buy it online and you pick up at the store. So that's actually expected to make up 6% of that 74% of in-store sales this year. we get it that inventory isn't really a problem for you guys right now. Like Talia was saying, so many pawnbrokers that we talk to are saying, well, my shelves are empty. I sold all my firearms. Inventory is not a problem for me. I've sold it all. But again, if you could capitalize on bringing in an extra 6 to 10% of customers, bringing them into your store, wouldn't you do it? You would. We're not talking about selling online so that you can wrap, pack, and ship. We're talking about selling online so that you can bring customers to you and into your store and really use e-commerce as a tool.
So that's the short term, really focusing on online and e-commerce as a tool to get new customers through your door. But just in general, online sales are expected to reach $600 billion by 2024. And currently the US does around $400 billion. So it's expected to just continue to climb. And this isn't something that if you haven't started yet, it's too late. Actually, if you haven't started yet, you have huge opportunity. And with so much opportunity, also, other companies are looking at this and will be continuing to come into the market as competition. So again, diversification is a way to protect against competition, and people are going to continue to be selling and transacting online. So, don't be so intimidated that you never start. And if you've already started, or if you consider yourself an A, there's always room for improvement. So this online sales is going to be a constant evolution, and there's always going to be tools, process, and content to basically help you become a better seller.
So just in general, having a strong online presence is it's a better experience for everyone, specifically, mostly your customer. We're providing them with convenience. So your customers can browse your inventory. They can shop from anywhere, anytime at their convenience. It provides tons of flexibility. They can buy online, they can pick up at store, they can browse online, buy in store, they can buy online, you can wrap, pack, and ship it to them. And the opportunity there to get them in and then cross-sell is so there. You can capture their purchasing behavior. Then you can, send them emails, send them text messages, gain insight from what they're buying, send out small segments, build on what's working, and then continue to repeat and try it over and over again. Once you've got that customer into your store, you're going to be able to upsell, deep sell them, take advantage of the fact that now you've got them in there. So this is one of our customers' success stories, and this is somebody who is using all the tools that Bravo has to offer them. He's using company branded, using Buya, using eBay. He's selling local, he's selling into new markets, and seeing the benefits of having an integrated platform that actually supports a click and mortar model. So 2 years ago, this wasn't the situation for Kimball. He didn't have this. And by the way, since he's come to Bravo, he's added on new stores. So the bottom line is, no matter where you are in this journey, the important thing is just to get started. We can help you do the rest.
So before we jump into the what and the how to do this, I wanted just to pause and see if anybody has any questions or comments so far. Okay, great. We're just going to dive then right into the what. So in researching this, there's some new terminology that I'm excited to share because I'm nerdy like that. So there's a shift to click and mortar. That's sort of a new thing, click and mortar instead of e-tail. And then there's also, that can be called brick and click. So you might, as you're starting to dig more into like elevating your store, these are two terms that you can start to search for that are being heavily researched and heavily talked about. So click and mortar and brick and click. And so these are just omni-channel approaches to operating and that you want to have included in your platform. The more integrated and native these things are, the easier it is for you as an operator, so that you're not managing all these separate channels separately. If you're a customer of ours, then you know that our omni-channel approach includes mobile, e-commerce, and in-store simultaneously. But really, at the end of the day, the goal is to be where your customers are. And I want to talk about one thing that, in selling on Baya through Bravo. So if you're a Bravo customer, this is especially relevant for you. This is a unique service that we offer. It's called Google Shopping Ads, and it's totally free. And we're actually the only pawn shop marketplace or e-commerce site that's pawnbroker related that's doing it. And so what this is we have a specific API for shopping, which allows Bravo to integrate your Baya shopping page with the Google Merchant Center. And so what that enables us to do is programmatically manage your products and your inventory real time from Bravo. So if you're not yet selling online, and we're going to get into whether you're picking and choosing your inventory, you're actually, this is where the magic is happening. And if you're not a Bravo customer, you want to find out how you can get your items into Google Shopping. And you want that to be as real time as possible. That's where the API comes into place. So the Google Shopping ads are really unique, and it's different than just regular Google ads where you're paying per click, because this is specific to product. And what's awesome about this is you can then use it in ad campaigns, and you can then sell these products through Google Shopping actions. And the most important in what we're talking about right now is geolocating to your store. And so again, why this is important is because e-commerce isn't just about wrap packing and shipping items outside of your region. I know that that's a friction point when people are considering selling online, because they want those items to maybe come back into their store eventually, or they feel like they're losing the cycle of their business. But nobody knows what you have in your store unless you put it online. And so when you drop it online through one of our channels and we geolocate it, then if I'm somebody and I'm looking for a DeWalt drill, Home Depot is going to come up because they have this, and so will your store because you have it. And if you price it right, they'll come into your location, having never been in a pawn shop before. And so what we actually see is and we track about 10% of customers that come in from Baya come into a pawn shop who have never been into one before. And so again, this is talking about using e-commerce as really a tool for driving new traffic. So a little bit of how to, if you haven't had much luck with selling online, or you're wondering where to get started, the first question is, do you pick and choose? And I wanted to ask in a poll, how much of your guys' inventory is online, just to get an idea of sort of some action items and how to help you. So if you can answer how much of your inventory is currently listed online. Okay, that's awesome. It looks like about 67% of you have between 1% and 50%. So less than 50%, nobody has 0%. So everybody on here is actually at least listing some things online. And so let's talk a little bit about picking and choosing, or picking only what you think is going to sell online, or if it doesn't sell in your floor after a certain amount of time, then you put it on eBay. So what you're doing by when you pick and choose is you're guessing what you think people are going to be searching for online. And it's sort of like you wouldn't put things behind your counter that you wouldn't think would sell on your floor, right? So you're trying to pick and choose, and people search online and for shipping and in store. So they're looking for in-store things. People have less time than they have ever had before. And so coming into a store just to browse isn't as feasible as it once was. And so what you're doing is every item that you list into the web, you're getting thousands of eyeballs on that exact item. And it's not only on the item, but it's on your brand. So they're being reminded of your company, your store, your logo, where you're located, and you're reminding them, because people are bombarded with retail coupons and emails and text messages and ads. And so they need to be reminded of your store too, so that you come to mind when they want to buy something, sell something, or get a loan. One of the things that, as you start selling more online, you'll actually see your loans go up, your loan balance go up. And I think that this is maybe a misconception or sort of hidden gold, is that when you know that you can turn an item faster, and that's what selling online does, is you actually increase your inventory turnover, you'll actually lend more. And why is that really important? Because loan balances are incredibly depleted right now. And anytime you have confidence to lend more, that's something that we believe you should be doing. We should be growing loan balances and spending a lot of time and effort and thought into doing that. Most pawn shops have more cash, sitting on more cash than they ever had before, and they want to lend the money, but you've got to do it smartly. So online actually gives you confidence to be able to do that smartly, because you're going to increase your inventory turnover, which is going to give you more cash. So that's the biggest piece. I'll mention Jerry again on this. He's a churn and burn your inventory kind of guy. So it's not, the margin isn't as important. What's important is that you're turning that inventory as many times as you can. That's going to put more money into your pocket. You can put more money on the street that way. And so that's going to become incredibly important, in my opinion, in the coming months and years. The Publix, First Cash, Easy, they're also flush with cash. And I've been following along with some of First Cash's new refinancing, and they actually just took out an extra $200 million. And that's crazy when I think about it, because they're already sitting on a ton of money, the same money that everybody is sitting on. They just sold all of their aged inventory, and their loan balances are down and redemptions. And so the public companies are going to be looking to lend more money, put more money on the street, and they're actually gearing up to have more capital to be able to do that than when this whole thing started. And so the price wars and the lending wars on who can lend the most, it's going to get real. And what this is going to mean is that margin is going to shrink, because when you're lending more and the item defaults, you're going to sell it and you're going to make less margin. But what's important is that if you have the confidence that that's going to turn, then margin is less important. Inventory turns is more important than margin, and margins are going to shrink. If you want to be competitive, and if you want to lend the most, that's going to be what's going to be required, is probably lending a little bit outside of your comfort zone. If you're doing it smartly with the estimators, with the tools, knowing that you're going to be able to turn it online, then you'll have more confidence in doing that. Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, maybe type yes. Yes. That was a lot of info quickly. Okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next thing is data. And you've got a lot, if you're a Bravo customer specifically, but on any platform, you've got data. And the real question is, how do you use it in a creative way? I saw one question, but how do we get new inventory? You got to bring it in. And there's got to be a lot of effort to bring it in. And buying pallets and buying truckloads of stuff right now isn't as readily available as it has been. You've got to get creative. You should be spending time thinking about how you're going to bring everything that was redeemed over the last 5 months back into your store, everything that was sold last year from your store back in, or you've got to get creative. How do you get creative? You use the data. The biggest question, if you're not a Bravo customer, the biggest question I hear is, well, I'm really afraid of who owns the data. And the answer for us has always been our customers, 100% you own the data. That's standard. That's like a no-brainer. That's standard in the industry. What isn't standard and what nobody talks about out of the gate is how can you utilize your data? What tools do you have available to you to drill into your data, to segment your data? Can you export it into Excel? And then how can your platform help you market and remarket? That's what's important, and that's the fun part. I saw that Billy's on here. Billy, I think, spends a lot of time getting creative about how to drive traffic into his store and using the tools, the segmenting, And he's constantly reaching out to me and support to get creative about, hey, I've got this segment in mind that I really want to send a text message to. How do I find this data in Bravo? How do I slice it and dice it? And how do I send it to that segment of maybe 100 customers or 500 customers or 20 customers, right? So you want a tool that can help you do that. Personally, I mean, I believe that the data is your biggest asset, especially right now. And if you've been collecting it over the last however long you've been inputting it into a system, whether it's text message, whether it's email, phone numbers, whatever it is, use it. However you can, drive the in-store traffic over the next 3 months is going to be more important than ever. And whatever you can drive in the next, month, 2 months, you should be able to have some inventory come holiday season. So a little bit of information on that. This is just to drive home the point that data is your horsepower. This is a picture of a Bugatti. It's considered to have the world's most powerful engine. You can use Bravo's tools to send discounts and promotions. When somebody buys something on Bio, we actually share that customer with you. You have all of your online customers' data. It's unlike eBay, where if somebody buys something on eBay, you have no idea, you have no customer data, right? So that's one thing that Baya provides to you, is we're spending the money driving the traffic into Baya to get you a customer to sell your stuff. But then after that transaction's done, we actually give you the data to go back and remarket them. You have their number, you have their email address. So this is a really big takeaway, I think, from today's, is spending time sitting down with creative people and really metrics-driven people within your companies and talking about a strategy and trying to get creative about what segments you want to send and what kind of messaging. And if you're a Bravo customer, we love to help with that. So if you're looking for creativity, or if you're looking for somebody to help you analyze your numbers, Jim is on here. He's the VP of Customer Success. That's what this department is meant to do. So we want to help you creatively engage with the platform to drive the results that you're looking for.
Reviews are key. I think it feels like almost everybody's on board with that now. But reviews are really influential in driving in-store traffic as well as online purchases, particularly with brand new customers. The numbers don't lie. 90% of purchasing decisions are influenced by reviews. 92% of customers are more likely to purchase from a business after having read the reviews. So, make it a no-brainer for them. We need to start asking our customers for reviews. 73% of consumers say that they trust a business more that actually has a review versus one that doesn't at all. The key to reviews is volume. Don't worry so much about the bad ones. Yes, of course, respond to and address those bad reviews. But the real key in getting reviews is volume. So number matters much more. In fact, there's been studies done where somebody with 4 stars or 4.5 stars will actually rate higher than somebody with 5, because when consumers see 5 stars, they assume, oh, it's bots or it's not real reviews. So don't worry if you don't have a 5-star review. It's about quantity. So just a little bit testimonial. I picked this one out. It's one of my favorite because it also speaks my truth in the time that I spent in a pawn shop. Not a day would go by that a customer wouldn't call us on the phone and ask us 20 questions, or ask us to put an item aside that they had just saw online on our company branded website. And it's not unique to the pawn shop that I worked in, and it's not unique to Dave's Pawn Shop. We hear stories every day from our customers about how people come into their store and say, oh, hey, by the way, I saw this online, and that's why I came into the store today. Pawn shops are so much fun to shop. You never know what you're going to find, and online shopping by date added is like the best when you're shopping a pawn shop, because you get to see everything that came out that particular day. So when I shop, you guys, that's how I do it. What came out today?
All right, we have 1 more minute. I just wanted to run through what's new at Bravo. Two-way chat, shopkeeper and mobile pawn, that is here. That is by popular request. The second thing is our beta integration with e4473.com is complete. That integration for 2020 version is going to be completed at the end of September. So if you are a Bravo customer and you're interested in the integration with 4473.com, you can go check more out about the company and see what E4473 is all about and how that may be able to help your store. And then also, you know, if you need any hardware or supplies, any paper or anything like that, we have some resources for you for that now. And Blue Dog is still pumping along. So most customers have now started to integrate that into the point of sale as well. So it's integrated point of sale, e-commerce, and mobile. So that brings us to the very top of the hour. I'll stay on. Tony, magic number for online ad items. It's not so much the number of items as it is the percentage of items. And it's about 87% of items, inventory items listed online is where the magic starts to happen. So it's more of a percentage than the actual volume. Any other questions? Feel free to post them in the chat. Christy and I will stay around and moderate those and answer them. If you're gonna take off, one of the things that we really wanna know is how we did today. We do these webinars every week and every other week. So we just wanna make sure that we're relevant and staying on topic. We won't be offended if you didn't learn anything today, but we hope that you did. So thank you so much for joining at 30 minutes. Hopefully you got some actionable takeaways. Christy, thanks for joining me today and lending your knowledge. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And
so Billy asked, how is jewelry selling for most of the shops online?
So I just was looking at the numbers recently, and jewelry is selling better than before. And I can send you the exact metrics. But you know, jewelry generally is hard to turn online. But there has been an increased demand for it, and more people selling it. Billy, are you finding that jewelry is selling well, or are you looking to be connected to maybe somebody that's selling jewelry really well online right now to pick their brain? I can connect you if you'd like. Or if you're that person, then I probably have other people that want to connect with you. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah. Jewelry with the certifications and big discounts do well online. And when you post those through Bravo on sale, we show the discount. So, and on your company branded site and on eBay.
Billy said not selling well for us.
Okay. All right, Billy, I'll connect you to somebody that's doing well in that area. Average price for 14 karat is selling, just to see what other pawn shops are selling for, not just listing. I can see if I can pull that for you, Tony. Yeah. All right, well, thanks for spending your afternoon, 30 minutes of your afternoon together. If you're about to take off, don't forget to take the poll. We really appreciate you. Thank you for spending time with us.